Over the note section of your notes, and there's some drama notes I need you to take. Okay, just on how some things in drama work. That sounds horrible. How can we rectify that?
Buy a new one. Boom.
Both of those work. Both of those work. One of them does work better than the other. Okay, I'm going to do mine. Where am I going to do mine? I guess I'll do it here. You're writing. I'm going to tell you what you're writing. You're writing notes. What should you title this? Drama notes. Yeah, things to note about how drama works. We'll say drama notes. Okay, the notes I'm going to give you right here have to do with something that is very similar and yet different, okay? This is how several ways that we deal with one character. I can't talk and write at the same time. See? I already spelled it wrong. One character speaking. Okay, so all of these that I'm going to give you right now have to do with one character speaking, but they're different and are used differently. So I'm going to start with one that you might know, the monologue. Monologue, and then we have the soliloquy. You will need to leave a little bit of space. I'm just writing them out right now. And then lastly, we have the aside. Okay? All of these have to do with one character speaking. Okay? So that's your hint right here. Monologue. Are we familiar with anything that is similar to monologue? Like a play. Talking. Uh-huh. Mono means what? One. Mono means one. Yeah. Monologue is one person speaking. We know this. I already told you this has to do with one person speaking. Okay. Now, here's where things start to get different. Who can hear someone that is giving a monologue? Okay. So I'm going to change colors for funsies. Not that color. Okay, so audience can hear. Oh, I cannot talk and spell at the same time. This is a struggle.
I can't listen and spell.
Audience can hear. Who else can hear? Can the actors on the stage hear?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah?
Technically, you can hear.
Technically. We'll say other characters, that their characters can hear. Other characters can hear. Pretty much everybody, all can hear. It's just one person speaking, but everybody can hear. Everybody knows what's going on, okay? It just means that it's mostly done by one person, okay? So, a soliloquy, how many people do you think are speaking?
6.
2. Really?
1.
One, yeah. Still. One person speaking. Thank you. One person speaking. Here's where it gets different. They are alone. No other characters on the stage. Okay, and it's very often it's used. Can you see this color?
Yep.
Okay. Used to reveal internal thoughts. Maybe even conflicts that they're having. Okay. You know how when we read something and we know that the character's thinking through it because it's their perspective? So there's times in drama that we need a way for the audience to know what's going on in their head. Okay? This is one of the ways that we do it. Monologues, that's just one person talking for a long period of time, right? Giving a speech. Some of your classes are often monologues, right? But the soliloquy is one person speaking, revealing internal thoughts, conflicts, maybe their emotions of what's happening and how they're going to try to deal with it. Okay? So an aside, one person speaking. Thank you. Right? I told you that up here.
Talking in their head.
Talking what?
In their head.
Kind of, yeah. Very simple. So they're talking in their head, but how does the audience know?
There's a narrator.
Yeah, we don't always have narrators. We frequently don't have narrators.
The audience doesn't know.
Okay, so there are others on stage.
Oh, but like,
But
it's like they can't hear the
Yep.
to the audience.
absolutely. But their characters can't hear. And I'm going to say characters to keep them separate because obviously we know that the actual people can hear. But their characters can't hear. Their characters can't hear what they're saying. Sometimes they're speaking directly to the audience, right? Sometimes in some of the plays, they'll break that fourth wall and they'll come in and be like, watch this, right? And then they go back and engage with the characters on stage, but they're letting you know that what's going to happen. So sometimes speaking to audience.
It's like in movies when like the actor looks at the camera.
Mm-hmm.
The other people can't.
Mm-hmm. Like Deadpool and some of those others that do that very directly. Absolutely. Yeah, that's an aside. A lot of times, it's just a way to reveal internal thoughts, feelings, etc., conflicts in the moment. So the soliloquy, somebody has to come back out, right? Like the stage clears and maybe they're still standing there thinking about it, or maybe there's something going on and then everybody clears and they just kind of wander in, lost in thought, and share with you what they're thinking or feeling. The aside allows you to see what they're thinking in that moment. So sometimes it's going to reveal confusion or whatever. But it's our way to get inside our character's head. All right, so monologue, soliloquy, and an aside. There you go. You got it? Do you need it for a second? We're good. We're good.
Is that all the notes?
For that bit, yeah. The rest of it's going to be on here. On here. Okay. So if you need that for a second, I'm going to leave that right there. So we just left, we had scene 1, in which we have the witches talk about their design upon Macbeth. They're going to meet up with him, bad weather, all that kind of stuff. Then we have scene 2, where we've got news of Macbeth coming in letter by letter of his fighting, his prowess in battle. We remember that word? No? News of Macbeth in battle. Prowess is like that combination of courage and skill to be able to do it, right? That unafraid, being able to take on whatever the problem is. Do you guys need these drama notes anymore? No. Okay, I'm gonna move them because they're in my way. So we have news of Macbeth in battle, and then here we arrive with we're right in the middle of Macbeth heading back from battle. Oh, that heater gets me. Just displayed his might and awesome fighting skills, aka prowess. This would have been seen as demonstrating his loyalty to the king. Why would it be seen that way? Do you want me to zoom in? Why would his valor and might and fighting all of these rebels, traitors, people, these Viking kind of people from Norway that are coming to invade them, why would that be seen as loyalty to the king? Who's he fighting on behalf of? The king. So everything that he's doing demonstrates like, I'm on your side. I'm fighting against all of these things for you. Okay? So it would have been seen this way. We left the do you still need this? Sorry. We left the last scene with like kind of peace and calm at the battle camp, finding out that the war was ended, knowing that the king of Norway was seeking a truce and they were making arrangements for getting their dead back so that they could bury them. And everything's nice and calm, and they say, hey, Macbeth is going to get this new title because the Thane of Cawdor is a traitor and doesn't deserve it anymore. And then the next scene, we start with thunder. Do you remember that pathetic fallacy we talked about? Do you remember? Nature reacting or responding to things going on in the mortal world. So this thunder suggests what? Bad. Trouble. Yeah. Okay, so just the thunder setting up this scene should indicate to the audience, like, ooh, it was all nice and peaceful and peaceful and calm. Or calmful. There's a new word for you. And then the witchers show. The witchers. One of these days, the witches show up.
Take a day off.
I know, right? Words are not working. That's cool. We'll press forward. All right, so my three witches. Are you ready? All right, go ahead.
What hast thou been, sister?
What's her name? Killing swine. Sister Widow.
A sailor's wife had chestnuts in her lap, and munched and munched and munched. Give me, quoth I. I loathe thee, witch, who of Babylonian skies. The husbands to Aleppo gone, master of the tiger. But in the sea, I'll do the same. Like a rat without a tail, I'll do, and I'll do.
Okay. So, first thing they say, it probably hasn't been that long since they met, right? But their first line is, oh, where have you been? What does that suggest? It's been a long time that they're close. They're, that they have to ask where you've been suggests that they could go all kinds of places.
Found each other?
They could, yeah, they're off doing their own things and then meeting back together. Yeah, so they're like, hey, what have you been up to in the 15 minutes? You know, like I was all the way on the other side of the world. Where are you at? Okay, so the fact that that even matters, it does kind of hint at, we'll say hints at this ability to travel. And she says, oh, I've been killing swine. So witches in this time period were associated, can't shorten that word, with swine fever. So Shakespeare's playing to the things that they thought witches were associated with or responsible for. They were also frequently accused of killing farm animals, right? If you had more than a couple animals dead, they would think, oh no, the witches are up to something. So we've got Shakespeare here kind of agreeing with that, suggesting, confirming that. That's the word I'm looking for. Okay, the third witch, where are you? Where have you been? Oh, and we've got this whole story here. Now, keep in mind, This is a sailor's wife here. So she's eating chestnuts, and she's munching on them, and the witch comes in and is like, give me one. So impolite, too. Doesn't even say please. But she's, give me. And this aroint phrase right here is suggested that it's a hand gesture, right? With your pinky out and your thumb up and your fingers down, and you point it at the witch, and it's suggested that it can undo their magic or like keep them from having any kind of magical spell over you. So that's what she's doing. She's like telling the witch to get lost. To undo devil's magic. The rump-fed Runyon cries. So she's suggesting that she's got a big bottom. But it also suggests, there's kind of a little bit more depth in it in the sense of that she gets to eat the most tender rump meat, therefore she's pampered and most likely fat. Right? So a nice little insult for her there. So this is the encounter right here. Now watch how she decides to deal with it. So her husband is what? A sailor. Okay. So her husband has gone to Aleppo. This is a port. I forget where it is. It's a port in. Nope, I lost it.
London.
I don't think it's in London. I don't think it's in Switzerland either. It's a little bit more exotic.
Manchester.
It's more exotic.
Madagascar.
Caribbean.
Greece.
I'm sorry, I don't remember.
Mexico.
No. But it suggests that he's a merchant, right? Like selling goods. But it's a port somewhere in a city.
Gulf of Mexico.
The city's the name. And I want to say something like Turkey, but I don't think it's that. Anyway, he's the master of the tiger. What do you think the tiger is?
The tiger, the animal.
Really? Really? Yeah, this is the name of the ship. Thank you. It's capitalized. He's a master of the tiger. Why would he be the master? He's not like walking around with a tiger.
That'd be nice.
We just learned he was. It would be.
That'd be
It would be.
nice.
Yeah. But we just learned he was a sailor. Okay. So.
Okay.
He's the master of some kind of merchant ship named the Tiger, and he's headed to Aleppo. Why do you think she notices where the husband's gone? Okay, so absolutely, they can see the future or across other areas and places. But do you think the seas were a terribly safe place to be? No.
Nope. White caps all over the place.
Then she could have cut the handcuffs straight.
Yeah, so there may be less opportunity to curse the woman herself, but the husband is in a position of vulnerability, right? So she's suggesting his vulnerability, like, oh, he just happens to have left for this long trip. Guess what? All right. So she says, in a sieve, we talked about what a sieve was? Yeah. Yeah, I'll draw you a picture. Here you go. Because the rest is just words. So, there's our witch. In a sieve, yeah. In a strainer full of holes, she's gonna sail off to meet this ship, right? Which I think we talked about this before, that it suggests how powerful they are, that they can sail in something full of holes that defies nature. Also, has she done this yet? No. This is the future tense. She's going to do this. She's not letting go, guys. There's no forgiveness in her heart. This woman did not give her a chestnut, and she's off. Okay, so she's going to catch up. And it says, like a rat without a tail, I'll do, and I'll do. So they used to think that witches could shapeshift into four-legged animals. But since they did not have the corresponding body parts, they would not have tails. No. But they would be tailless. Oh, sorry. Nobody even told me you couldn't see it. Rude.
We've heard you say it.
Yeah, it's there. This last little image right here, I'll do, and I'll do. What do rats do? They try?
Steal.
Try? Okay, they steal.
They eat.
Steal, they eat. They do
They
stay.
make spaghetti.
Yes, and ratatouille. Okay, they steal, eat. The idea is that they're going to be gnawing holes. She's saying, here you go. So they kind of imagine what she must have been doing was like acting like she's just going to gnaw holes throughout the ship, right? Like making some kind of little gnawing motions. So here she says, all right, here you go. Here's our little ship, and it's going to become Swiss cheese. Yeah. I know. So she's going to go after him and make his boat Swiss cheese. I know. So rude. All right. So the other witch's response, go ahead.
Oh. I'll give thee a win.
Thou art kind.
And I another.
I myself have all the other. And the very poise they blow are the toilers that they know. I the shipman's code I will drink and dry as hay. He shall neither night nor day. In conscious penthouse live, he shall live a man for bed. Weary sing nights 9 times 9, shall he dwindle ancient time. Though his boat cannot be lost, yet it shall be his task. Look what I have.
Crazy fast.
So fast.
Have fun, guys.
As long as you have fun. All right. So you don't have any homework. Just hang on to that. Don't lose it. Yep. Work on that essay.
Heck yeah.
And I'll see you tomorrow.